I love everything about eliminating the state income tax, in that it saves the state money, it saves consumers money, it gives us the ability to move towards more of a consumption or sales tax type mechanism for funding government altogether. And to Julia's point, it becomes voluntary at that point.
Right.
You know, in large part. So there's obviously a lot of things to work through, and I wanted to make sure, if we can fast forward to talking about a little bit of the bill and what it does right quick.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So I noticed some of the comments were like, "Hey, let's eliminate this tax right now. Why can't we do this?" And you even mentioned that, "Hey, let's get this done in the next 15 minutes." I introduced the bill, and if I had a magic wand, this is what I would do. But there's some other things that are going to have to be addressed in order for us to do this. The bill itself doesn't directly deal with any of these other issues, but what it does do is it provides a mechanism to put us on a glide path to 0% income tax, and it's all in that section of the law. The other things that we're going to have to deal with here really fall under the tax reform umbrella. How do we fund? What are the mechanisms now that we're going to utilize to fund some of these other services that we provide as a governmental system? There's a lot of things that could be tied to the collection of income tax at the state level, and a lot of a large portion of that comes out of our general revenue fund and then divvied out to different agencies, departments, things like that. But what I did with the bill was I basically did two things. One, the bill would collapse all of the tax brackets into one tax bracket, so everybody would be paying the same rate. And then over the next 10 years, we take that rate, divide it by 10, and by that small amount, it would reduce by that amount every year over the next 10 years, eventually getting us to zero. Could we fast track that? Absolutely. The idea here, though, is to allow time for the state legislature to work through some tax reform issues, reshuffle. And I said this last night on KOCO, but kind of reshuffle the deck here, if you will, and identify areas of fraud, waste, and abuse, services that we don't need to be providing anymore, offices that we don't need to be paying for employment for anymore. Government is not a jobs program. So if we don't need the services, then we need to let some people go, and that's okay. There are plenty of other jobs out there available. But we have to understand, first and foremost, that as a body of legislators, we have to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars, and that includes how we collect them.